hunger and desire to win, and that's a very pleasing photograph for me for the team, because without that determination and character from them, we certainly wouldn't be sitting in we wouldn't have made the final.
So the season so far, how have you sort of been finding things this year, Declan?
It's obviously it's been tough. It's been tough. It's been intense, but it's been enjoyable. Obviously, we didn't get off to the best of starts in the season, and you're questioning what you do, and to a certain extent, there was nothing in the games that at the start of the season that we weren't picking up points. But I always have firm belief in the players that, you know, when they settled and they got to know each other, that the standards would improve, and that has proven to be the case. But it's been really enjoyable because, you know, we're a close group, players, staff, people working in the club. You know, everybody's pulling in one direction. Our ladies team managers and a lot with us, and you know, everybody is pulling in one direction, and that was one of the goals for this season. So it's been hard work, a lot of sacrifice, but at the same time, you know, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to working in big football clubs and professional environments, and thankfully at the minute it's everybody pulling in one direction. It gives us room for a lot of growth.
And you were here as a player, but coming back as the manager, what was the reason you decided to come back to Glentoran?
It's obviously a massive football club. It has, in my opinion, overachieved over the last year or two, and I had real fond memories of working here and playing here, and obviously won the Irish Cup here. But I know the magnitude of the job also, and it's something I like. Challenges in my life. I have managed big football clubs in my career. I have been doing this now in terms of coaching and management for over 20 years. I stopped playing at 24 years of age, and it was always my goal to manage and coach. So when the opportunity comes to a mammoth football club, and that's what it is, it's a mammoth football club steeped in huge history, and an opportunity to try and regroup and rebuild, it was just a no-brainer, really.
The current group of players, just talk to us a bit about this group and what they've given you this year.
Real buy-in, real work. You know, they bought onto the high levels of work ethic. I felt that it was important when we came in that our fitness levels, our nutrition, our professionalism, our togetherness, it was really important. But you know, they're training on a daily basis. They have to believe in each other, and we've got really good people here this year. We've got really good people and good lads, and people that not only want to do their jobs well, but also want to bring the squad and the group with us. We have a young profile of a team. A lot of young lads coming through, 4 or 5 through the academy that plays are in the squad or are also with us every day. So a real honesty about our group. But there's also a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent. There's players that you know have really shone this year. We've a young James Douglas that had played 19 league games by the age of 18. He's just turned recently 19. Goes to Windsor Park, scores a winner. Gets sent off the week before here in another game against Linfield, and had the character to go on against Linfield and get the winner. So I see great potential in the team in terms of their togetherness, their fitness levels, but we also know that we haven't arrived yet. We still have to continue to get better and continue to build, because you know, no matter what happens this season, we have a lot of work to do. We have to fine-tune our style of play, but there's been lots of positives. There's been so many. And personally, it's when you love coming into your work every day. I see that in the players, I see it myself, and I see it in the staff, that we all love coming in every day, because everybody is, as I say, rowing in one direction, pulling in the one direction. But it's, even after defeats, a couple of defeats this year, it was still, you know, we park a bus on it, we learn from our mistakes and we move forward. So all in all, everybody buying on the ethos of the club again, which is hard work, professionalism, and having a rapport and understanding that the fans are paying hard money to come and watch us. But at the same time, we got to produce on the pitch, and that has been really pleasing. And we've lost two really big players this year, and Josh Kelly after 3 league games with a cruciate knee ligament. Josh was our best player in pre-season. We've lost James Singleton over recent weeks. It's just been an inspiration for everybody. But like, those guys are very much still tight part of the group, and that epitomises what we're trying to build, is that even though two step out, they're still here every day and pulling and encouraging the lads. County Antrim Shield Day, where the two of the lads, Singy obviously played, but in a lot of big games when they haven't been involved, they're encouraging and helping and talking to the younger players. So that's probably the biggest thing for me.
And just coming from outside the league, being down at Bows for a while, how did you find the difference with the Irish League and the Sports Direct Premiership? How do you find it coming back into it, and where sort of this league's at the moment?
So this league, obviously, even though I've been in the League of Ireland for 18, 19 years, seeing the growth in that league, I've obviously kept a close eye. A lot of coverage on TV and online. Travelled up from Dublin to watch many Irish League game when you're recruiting players, and knowing that there was good players in the league. There's still a level of professionalism, I believe, that can be risen in the Irish League compared to the League of Ireland, and that's something that we'll continue to work at here. But there's been huge growth over recent years. You have to look. Attendances are going up all the time. There's a lot of sellout crowds now again, and the standard of player that's moving back to the Irish League, from whether it be Scotland, Wales, England, or League of Ireland. There's a lot of players now getting recruited from those leagues. So all in all, I see massive growth. But at the same time, I still believe that there's still room for improvement. And we talk about stadiums and all the rest. Once the funding comes down for stadiums, then we can really, I think, grow as a league whenever our fans are looked after and playing in modern stadia. So all in all, big growth, but keep it coming and more to come.
That one, I think it's the early round victory against Linfield in the Bet McLean Cup. Just tell us a bit about the early rounds, win against Dergview, and then going to the National Stadium and beating Linfield 1-0.
I think first and foremost, our draws have been very difficult. The first round, we get Dergview, and to be fair, they came and put it up to us. We mixed the team up a bit. We played players that didn't have a lot of minutes under their belt, and it was a really tough game for us. And then you progress from that, and you think, right, okay, the next round we'll maybe get another home draw, a handy enough draw at this stage. But to be pulled out against Linfield, you're going, right, okay, they'll take it on the chin, but we'll go and give a good account of ourselves. And again, it was a brilliant occasion. It was an occasion where we knew we would have to be at our best again. But our cup competitions have been extremely difficult. Obviously, we played the Welders in the Irish Cup, and then the next round you get Linfield again. So everybody keeps going on about the Linfield games. I'm trying to forget them, but at the same time, it's a real difficult pathway through the cups for us. And this photograph kind of epitomises it. James Douglas, goal scorer, 18 years of age, coming through the academy. Marcus Kane, blood coming from his eyes, a captain that everybody told me was done last year when I came in. But that's a powerful photograph. It's the new and the young, the old and the new, going on to a venue that we probably haven't won at in a long time, and two huge performances, one from James, one from Marcus. And Marcus is captain of the club and has proved unbelievable leadership for the players. And for the career that Marcus has had, he probably hasn't as many winners' medals as he would hope for. And James just coming on in pre-season, stepping up from the academy, probably now he has opportunities to collect a couple of winners' medals in his first season. So it just shows you how difficult it is. They pick medals up. But it's a really powerful photograph. James Douglas, Marcus Kane, blood teeming down his eye, and celebrating with the fans. Special night. County Antrim Shield.
So the County Antrim Shield victory, first piece of silverware the Glens have got since 2020. Big moment for the club, but big moment for you and the team. Just tell us what it was like, that feeling to get your hands on a bit of silverware again.
It was a magical night, but it's also a sign of the players and the team and how far they've come, because, you know, the start of the year, people were saying we would like to win a trophy as a minimum. First trophy comes up, we've had to work extremely hard to win it. Again, tight game against a Larne team that we haven't had huge success over recent years. Obviously, they've had magnificent success, getting a couple of league titles, 4 county Antrim shields on the span, and getting the group stages of Europe. So I think we went on as underdogs, to be honest, and we had a bug in the camp that week where there was a lot of illness and a lot of sickness. Don Connolly sitting beside me on the bench, he couldn't come on because he was so sick, so ill. But like, against, not even against the odds, I thought we thoroughly deserved it. But at the same time, we don't, you know, another young player came through the academy, and Charlie Lindsay, full house. Our fans hadn't seen Glentoran win a trophy in a long time, because obviously the last cup success came during COVID. But another homegrown player that came through the academy from the age of 8 years of age, I think it was 8 or 9, went to Glasgow Rangers and came back, went to Derby County, came back. And for him to come on that night and score the goal that he scored, it's a bit of a fairy tale for him and his family, but also for our fans. They understand that Charlie is one of their own, and he has done the hard miles at the Oval and the academy set up with the academy coaches. So there was a lot of pluses. I've won trophies in the past, but this was more not about me. This is more about a group of lads coming together for the first time, new team, a new mentality, and our supporters really getting behind the team and being able to deliver success. But if anything, it hopefully whets the appetite for a bit more, and we just keep going. But the day after, nobody's been talking about the Shield. It's gone, and we want to now try and finish the season with a bit more success.
And you've had such success in the cups this year. You've done so well. You're still in all the cups. What do you put that down to?
Well, we haven't won anything yet except one. We're still in the hat. That's all you can do. Nobody ever remembers who loses finals or semi-finals, but it's down to the group of players. It's down to the buy-in, whether it be in strength and conditioning, whether it be in the tactical aspect that we set the team up with, or whether it's down to the nitty-gritty on the night of outworking your opponent. So, good people, I think, you know, good things happen, good people. And we have a lot of good people here, and hopefully we can have a lot more good things happen between now and the end of the season.
So the semi-final against Crusaders, mammoth performance, packed house at the Bet McLean Oval. Just tell us what that night was like.
It was a brilliant night, full of emotion, obviously, because you're 2-0 up and you feel, even at half time, I didn't feel we had played great. But this kind of epitomises the character again and the determination of the group. It's very easy when you give away a 2-goal lead, they fall under your shell and accept that the game is slipping away from you. But this photo epitomises what I believe in this group. I think the only one I recognise that was here last year from that photograph is possibly Jay. Everybody else is a new face in the group from pre-season, and they show that character when the game is slipping away from you, from being 2-0 up, do 2 each, they going on the extra time. The fans still staying with us, and the character and the effort, especially in they score late on in extra time, and again that goes back to fitness levels, mentality levels, and a hunger and desire to win, and that's a very pleasing photograph for me for the team, because without that determination and character from them, we certainly wouldn't be sitting we wouldn't have made the final.
And it must be pleasing for you as a manager, not only the contribution of the starting team, but boys that have come off the bench, boys in the squad, like Cody at the start maybe wasn't starting most games, but he's made a massive contribution when he's got into the team. Everybody's sort of chipping in for you.
Massive. Every single player is chipping in and pulling their weight, and I wouldn't expect any different for the way that, you know, Marcus Kane, James Singleton, Fud Sully are overseeing the change room. Patrick McLean, a lot of experience on there, not letting people get too high, not letting get people too low. Also in pre-season, we had a lot of players came on at different stages. We were back very early actually, with your recruitment and having to sign so many players. Players were coming in closer to the start of the season, and you know, players were finding their peak conditioning at certain stages. I'm delighted for Cody, because Cody there was a lot of huge performances. Frankie, Marcus Keane, Patrick McLean at the start. Like them centre half positions they were nearly untouchable. And then through one thing or the other, Cody came in, played a couple of games at right back, but we never signed him as a right back. We signed him as a centre back, and I think you can see his worth over recent weeks and months, because he's not only a fantastic centre back, but he's a brilliant leader. He captained the team down in Loughgall. It was probably only his 5th or 6th start. But he brings great leadership to the group as well, and a real desire to win, and huge experiences from where he has been in his career. Back to the main man, Marcus Keane.
So, club captain, he's had a class season when people maybe have written him off in previous years, but tell us a wee bit about what Marcus is really like and what he's actually like to manage. People have a lot of respect for him, being involved in the league for a long time. What's he actually like?
He's fantastic. He's a fantastic person, and he's been here a long time, and fully deserving to be here a long time, because he's had a wonderful career. He's seen some really good times at Glentoran, and he's seen some dark days as well. But when I came on the end of last season, I was nearly assessing everything on a daily basis, and I liked everything that Marcus Keane stood for, what the club means to him, how hungry he was to achieve success even at this stage of his career. His willingness to learn still and improve himself, in terms of he wants to stay in the game for his coaching as well. So there's a lot of knowledge in there. There's a lot of honesty in there as well, and when Marcus bites, he listens, and I like that. But he's also brought people with him. He scored a lot of important goals for this football club. He's put his body on the line. The body's not getting any younger, but the head's still very, very smart. And he's understanding Irish League football is second to none. And I believe genuinely we're very lucky to have him. When you're bringing through players from your academy, and Marcus is out with the under-20s every Monday night, he's watching the young players coming through, he's helping them with his advice. But we'd be lost without him this year, and he has been instrumental in the relative success that we've had to this date. But a born winner, a born leader, and somebody that, this football club has been very fortunate to have for a long time.
Cliftonville, opponents in the final, what sort of test is that going to be like to play them in the Bet McLean Cup final?
It's going to be such a tough test. A fantastic manager. Was my boss for a while when I worked with the Irish Football Association. Worked with Jim for a long time, and I hold him in the highest regard in the way he plays the game, and his ability to motivate players, and his eye for a player, second to none. And I think Jim and Cliftonville deserve huge credit as well for, even in this photograph, is Michael Newbury. The pain and suffering that that club and staff and players have felt over recent months is, it's not something you'd want to wish on anyone. But brilliant club, steeped in history. Tough games against them this year. We came out 1-0 and obviously 2-1 with our goalkeeper scoring one of the goals. So there's been nothing in the matches, but bring a huge crowd. We'll bring a huge crowd, and it'll very much be on the day what team performs the best, because it can really go anyway.
And Jim Magilton, working alongside him before, how do you find it sort of coming up against him? He's a guy who has a lot of respect, and he achieved a lot with Cliftonville last year. What's it like coming up against Jim?
It's strange, but it's not something we haven't experienced before. When I was at Derry, or he was at Dundalk, and we've crossed paths many a time. But Class Jim was a really good friend of mine. He's someone I really respect in the game. He's someone whose opinion and ideas on the game I really respect, and also want to learn from as well. I've learned a lot from Jim over my career. But he'll be the first to say it. It's about producing for your team on the day, and one of us will go away home happy and one of us will go away home sad. But I know going into the game that I have to have my team really set up right and properly, because I know he'll have his done. The League Cup trophy.
So the cup itself, what would it be like to get your hands on that on March the 9th?
I think it would be fantastic for the team. I think it would be fantastic for the club. As I say, look, Glentoran, there's an expectation at this club that they should be winning trophies. But to be able to win this would be really special on the back of winning the Shield and being able to have the first 2 trophies of the season ticked off. It would be, pardon me, testimony to a lot of people at the football club. It would be testimony to our fans that have been starved. Testimony to our owner who has invested a lot. You know, people working hard behind the scenes, Paul Miller, Joe McColgan, Tony, the staff that work here on a daily basis. But I would love it for the team, I would love it for the players, for knowing what they're giving them, especially for their families, because when you're doing the hours that we're doing at the minute, there's a lot of sacrifice has to be made. We've players that have left their families in England for the first time. We have players that's partners are still in England. We have players that's wives are in Donegal and all over Ireland, and you know, a lot of sacrifice to be here every day. And Dylan Connolly travels up from Dublin every day. A young family, and he's in the car first thing in the morning, doesn't get home to tea time at night. And then with players, as I say, that have brought their families on to Belfast and are staying here. So I think to win that trophy would be fantastic for the players and everybody connected with the club.
And it feels like a big occasion, like record-breaking ticket sales already live on Sky Sports against Cliftonville. These are the games you must relish to be involved in. It must be something to really look forward to.
They're brilliant. Listen, I've lost a few cup finals in my time as well, and it's not a nice feeling. You know, biggest attendance in the FIFA a couple of years ago, Bohemians against St Pat's. You know, we came out on the wrong side of it, and it's not nice. But the flip side of that is if you do get across the line, and you know you're able to take that back on the bus back to your own stadium, it's a special feeling, and you celebrate with your fans. But look, it's all on the day. As I keep saying this, it's whatever team turns up, plays their potential, and potentially carries a wee bit of luck, will tend to be the team that takes that trophy away. But it would be brilliant for our supporters and our team and everybody connected with the club. But we know we have to turn up on the day and produce. Scary.
So first of all, what's the kit about, and then talk to us a bit about what it was like as a player to sort of have success with Glentoran.
It's a weird one, because I'm not sure, because of the sponsors, that we weren't allowed to have a drinks company on our kit. So I didn't know that the kit wasn't going to be the same kit that we normally wore until the morning of the game, until we turn up for the game and the kit's set out. That's an absolute horrendous goalkeeping top. It is one of the worst I've ever seen in my life, and if you look closely, there isn't even a Glentoran badge on it. So it was a case of the kit man having to go at the last minute and pick a jersey that didn't clash. And by God, did he get it wrong. He certainly got it wrong. But look, the day in itself, you know, I came here and the club was again in a different position. It was a 2 season where you had to accumulate enough points, and Glentoran were in a poor place, so they had to come in the top 2 or 3 both seasons. They actually participate in the new Premier League. So it was a bit of a rebuild. Tommy Cassidy had come in, and he was a fantastic man. You know, sadly passed away in the last year, and he was a fantastic man with tremendous focus and determination to get the club back to where it wanted to be. We had to dig out a lot of important points in the league, but we had good players. We had really good players, and he recruited really well. We had players that if you wanted a fight, they could get a fight, but we also had players if you wanted to attack and you wanted to play a nice game of football. You know, Glenn Little, Liam Coyle, Justin McBride, Trevor Smith, the list goes on. A lot of talent, a lot of quality. But then in spite of the team, then you'd have Chris Walker, Gary Smith, John Devine, Andy Matheson. You know, if you wanted to put it up to them, they could put it up to you as well. So there was a real good environment as well then. Young players like Paul Lehman, Colin Nixon, Stuart Elliott coming through the academy set up again, and you know, it was a special day. It was an unbelievable day, and it took a bit of magic. There was nothing in the match, and I say this in all the cup games. You know, sometimes it'll come down to a mistake, but most of the times it'll come down to a bit of magic. You know, and that day, a wonder goal from Glenn Little, and thankfully we got across the line. But what it meant to people again after the game, my family, the Glentoran family, the fans, everybody, to be able to bring that back to the Oval, it was a really incredible day. And days like that love you for a long, long time.
Finally then, the supporters, the fans that backed you in numbers this season, record-breaking numbers for the Bet McLean Cup final. Just tell us what it's like to have their backing and what it's going to be like to have their backing for the final on the 9th of March.
Well, we wouldn't be anywhere this season without them. The positivity that they bring to every game, even when things aren't going for us. We won 3 points on Saturday in the league, and we scored in the 91st minute. In the 89th minute and the 90th minute, the crowd are still cheering us on and they're still being positive with us, even though they're frustrated, and nobody more frustrated than us that we couldn't get the opener. But in the elation, when you do score such an important goal, and this has been relevant right throughout the season, didn't start the season particularly well, found a bit of form, found a bit of consistency, getting better as the weeks go by, but in really difficult moments, and even a lot of games we found ourselves behind in games, and we're coming back whether we're 1-0 down or getting late goals to get our noses in front. But the fans and the noise that they're making, the numbers that they travel with, not just here at the Oval but anywhere we go, the numbers that they're coming out with, it's fantastic. And I think they've got new heroes. I think there's a lot of guys here now that the fans are really looking up to. I think the age profile of our fans are an old club. We're an old club, and we want to continue to be one of the biggest. But seeing so many young people now coming through with their red, green and black on them, and having new heroes, and Frankies and JJs and David Fishers and Fudzers, there's so many, Big Dans. Seeing the rapport between the fans and the players is what it's about. It's as simple as that. When they pay hard money to come to the games, we've got to make sure we give everything of ourselves. Sometimes it mightn't be pretty, sometimes it might be a bit ugly at times even, but as a minimum, it's got to be based on hard work. And I think they're seeing that with this team. There's a real honesty about this team. There's a real togetherness with the team. A real togetherness with the supporters as well. And I love nothing better after big games that they're always celebrating together and enjoying it. But we have to keep our supporters coming. We have to have a huge role in that in terms of what we produce out on the pitch on any given day. But we want to continue to grow. We want a new stadium. We want more fans coming, whether it's home or away. We want to get back out into the community here as a team and really engage the local community, because it's so important to us. But I think all in all, the fans, nothing possible this year without the effort and noise and commitment that they're making.